What's up, YouTube? This is Shaun Ford, creator of Carbizus, and today we got a really special episode. Today we're going to be joining Justin Norton, who is the world-renowned owner of Atlanta Custom Wraps. The way he puts it, he's the rapper of your favorite rapper. I'm talking about, Future and Young Dolph and NFL players and race car teams. He's also season 2 winner of the Netflix special Fastest Car 2, so I'm sure that car looks quite familiar. Last but not least, he also did the Ohio State Buckeye race stripe for the Ohio State Aston Martin by Carbizus. So let's pull up on him real quick and take a look at his cars, business, and Jesus. Well, Justin, welcome to an all-new episode of Carbizus.
Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you. Absolutely. So tell us, right, your cars. Obviously, most of us have seen probably season 2, the Fastest Cars. We've seen you on Instagram. Of course, this is the gentleman that was just on the Apple News with the Corvette with no doors on it. So kind of tell me about your car collection.
Yeah, so it's a really diverse collection. So I'm not married to any one brand or car. I think there's a car for every occasion, and I happen to have one for each of those occasions.
Or a lot of them, right?
Or a few of them, that's right.
Now, I know you do, Tail of the Dragon, Blood Mountain. Which one would you say is your favorite?
That's a hard choice. It really is. So, the Dragon is by far one of my favorites. Blood Mountain, Wolfgang Gap, the North Georgia area is one of my favorites. That was the first Gap I ever ran. I was 16 and did it with my father on a motorcycle. Danielle and I just spent a lot of time on the Foothills Parkway as well. 33 miles, not exactly sure how many turns it is, but what an incredible road that is. Experience, the opportunity. So I'd say those 3 are my favorite.
Well, I'm gonna try to follow along in the Aston, but I'm not quite sure I can keep up with anything he has. So, when people think about cars, you got everyday cars, you got exotic. We all have our own personal reasons on why we prefer one, but for you, why or how do you justify buying an exotic car?
I get away with it because of our business, right? So I found it's very easy to promote my company and what we do by simply pulling up and something extravagant and wrapped accordingly, right? But at the same time, I'm very passionate about cars and the drive and the experience. So I'm not someone, I think the average person you look at that has a fleet of cars like I do, you expect to have a ridiculous house and maybe even a vacation house and this and that. And those things aren't important to me in my life. So Danielle and I's happiest moments have been in cars running these roads. So we don't have that extravagant house. We don't have the vacation properties. We invest in our car fleet, and that's what really moves us and makes us happy. And I feel like if you have the right car, you're never really at home anyway.
Absolutely. So people see the car, but they rarely see your house.
That's right. That's right. We don't really have parties or invite people over. We've lived in the same house for 10 years and don't really have any, desire to go anywhere. So it's just her and I and my son every other weekend. So there's certain things that we don't go extravagant on, so that we're able to enjoy that money towards our cars, and it helps justify it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you remember in one of the previous episodes I mentioned, Nas the rapper said, make it your business to be about your business because everything is a business. Right. What Justin just said, right, is not only does he have the ability to afford it, but more importantly, he monetizes in creative ways his car fleet in order to promote his business, his personal brand, and so on and so forth.
And do what I love.
And
I found a way to enjoy what I love and make a living doing it.
So what do you say, right, out of everything you own, Corvettes, McLarens, GTRs, Lamborghinis, what is your favorite or what is your ultimate Pinnacle car?
I think I'm in my Pinnacle car already.
The McLaren, right?
That's right.
Yeah, 720.
That's right. And for a couple of different reasons. So I have two favorite cars, this being one of them, and the McLaren 720, for substantially different reasons. And they're uniquely different cars. This particular car really put our company on the map. So this was a gamble when we ordered this car. It was a stretch for Danielle and I to be able to afford it. The business was relatively new, but I needed something that would draw the attention and get the eye of some of the exotic car owners when we would attend camping and exotics.
And we just there this weekend.
So in doing that, I knew for the business, I needed something that was going to stand out, something that was going to separate us from the rest. And of course, other people were able to order the car as well, but through a great friend and a Pro Bowl Falcon player, we were able to obtain the car very early, before anyone else, basically. And so that gave me the opportunity to wrap it and modify it first and pick up some partners along the way, and it just spiraled out of control, and in a positive way.
Absolutely.
But we took that leap of faith and we're blessed. This car, if it weren't for this car, I wouldn't have had the Lamborghini, I wouldn't have the McLaren and the other cars that we had. So this will forever hold a huge part of my heart. However, the McLaren has almost an equal part in my life, and that was another chapter. First, being able to obtain that car is a dream come true, and it is by far the most incredible, all-around daily driver, fastest car, whatever you want to call it. That the 720 for me is the absolute pinnacle. I'm not one to buy a car, put it in the garage, and not drive it. So I feel like if you own a car that you don't feel like you can take out and drive, and you're worried about it being in the rain or how many miles are on it and service and things like that, and you really can't afford the car.
One of the things you said in the fastest, car season 2, and hopefully Danielle doesn't get mad at me, right? But his statement, and I quote, was what? I don't save my cars and I don't save my wife for the next man. So
that's right.
I found that kind of amusing, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's it, man. I think you got to grab life. I think you got, whatever it is in life. It may not be these cars, or it may be a different tier of car. I honestly, if you would have interviewed me 7-8 years ago, I would have told you there's no way I was going to be standing here today with the collection that I have and the life experiences that I've had. But I think you gotta grab life. You gotta go after what you want to achieve. Have faith. Do right by people, and God will bless the ones that deserve it and put in the work for it. Right. So not to say that if you don't have it, you don't deserve it, because there's a lot of people that are still putting in that work. About 12 years ago, we shared a Toyota Camry and lived in an apartment. We didn't have any of this stuff. So I've been in that spot, but at the same time, as a couple, we prayed about it, we talked about it, we laid out what we wanted to do to make our lives as happy as possible, and then we put in countless hours of work. So it was, 12-hour, 15-hour, and I still do that today. I'll work late tonight to make up for this time that I'm spending now, and so that I can go play tomorrow. So I think, that level of dedication and faith and just trying to do right, I think has blessed us with all of this and the opportunities that we have.
Yeah, what I hear you saying, Justin, is, the good book says it's simple, right? Diligence maketh one rich.
Yes.
Point blank, period.
It's about as simple as it gets, right?
And still to come on
khaki
Carbizus.
pants, and I would go down to Moreland Avenue and just act like some stupid little rich white boy that got a car
and thought it was
so
fast.
you was the car version of White Man Can't Jump? Is
Pretty
that what
much.
you're saying?
Pretty
Okay.
much. That's before Future was really Future. And so he linked us up and
Welcome back to Carbizus. Well, fast is his business, of course. Tell us a little bit about Atlanta Custom Wraps. Like, what was the inspiration for why you went into the wrapping business?
Well, it's funny, as much as we've talked about fast and racing, that's what brought me here, and that's what got me back there. I'd always been into performance, so I come from generations of car enthusiasts and go fast guys. My grandfather loved to race and was a moonshiner back in the days, or a bootlegger, I guess you'd say. He didn't actually make it; he just ran it through the mountains.
Entrepreneur, huh?
That's right. And my dad was a mechanic, still is. He'll retire next year, and a big car enthusiast. He raced motorcycles and stuff as well. But I think I went through most of my life being lost. Right? I didn't even make it through high school. I went to high school, but really that was just to meet the girls. And I did that for a year. But and I was married before and got divorced. And then when I met Danielle, things started to change. I had a different outlook on life. I had a son with my first wife, and when he was starting to walk and talk, I realized it's not going to be that long before he's looking at me and will never forget what he sees, right? So what is Dad gonna be? What's that image gonna be? And that motivated me to want to be a better man. Wow. To be a role model. Half the time the race is won before it ever starts, right? And
much like life, right?
That's right. And the problem with that is after you do it a couple times, people catch on. So they're looking for this car with this color and whatnot. And I always wanted to change the color of it so I could go back down, and they'd be like, well, don't mess with that blue Mustang, and I come down with a red one. So
interesting.
That's right.
But smart.
And I would do I would hustle it. I would put on, typically I'm in a raggedy t-shirt, but I would put on a polo shirt and some khaki pants, and I would go down to Moreland Avenue and just act like some stupid little rich white boy that got a car and thought it was fast.
So you was the car version of White Man Can't Jump? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. That's it. And people caught on, right? Okay. So I wanted to change colors, but I can't be in a body shop. All the sanding and the smells and my sinuses, it just, even now, as much as I love paint and cars, I can't spend any time in a body shop. It just, I feel horrible afterwards, right? So a buddy of mine told me about wraps, and Danielle and I were working from home at the time. We had a small screen printing business, and we were screen printing out of the basement. And one of our distributors or accounts that we had also sold vinyl. So I told her, like, we couldn't afford a paint job at the time, and I really wanted to change the color of the car, and I just decided, I'm gonna call a friend, we're gonna take a car apart in the garage, and I'm gonna try this. Like, I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna try it and see how it goes, and it was soothing. So afterwards, Danielle had actually submitted some photos and whatnot to the distributor that was having a little competition at the time, and I won.
Wow, first time out the gate?
So that's what I said.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I was like, what? This is the first car I ever wrapped, and we just won this competition with our distributor. And a buddy of mine owned a car wash in Atlanta. Future Hendricks used to go down there a lot. He would get all his vehicles wrapped. And this was years and years ago, right? Okay, before Future was really Future. Wow. And so he linked us up, and Future gave me a chance. He said, hey, come, I need this BMW wrapped, and it was black, and he wanted matte black. So it was a relatively, and now looking back, it was an easy one, right?
Absolutely.
But I did it, and he came to the house to pick it up, and I'll never forget. My son knew more about him than I did. I wasn't big into rap at the time and whatnot, so my son was like, "Dad, just check out this poster. This is him. Blah 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 blah." And so they were. I'd asked him. I said, "Man, I hate to bother you, but like, my son would love to meet you and talk to you." And he's looking over the car, and he's like talking to my kid, and he's like, "Man, your dad does incredible work, and you should be really proud." And he's gonna go far with this. Wow. And so we're standing in my driveway, the same driveway I have now, same place I live now. Wow. And Future was telling my son how proud he should be, and so I hit that moment, right, of looking back when I was wondering what would my son think of me. That moment hit where someone he idolized was telling him how proud he should be of me. Wow. And so that feeling, like, that hit my heart, and that was to see my son's face and his reaction to that, and that moment of, yeah, my dad's the man, and after that, he picked up the BMW and he said, "Follow me to the house." And so Danielle and I jumped in the car and followed him to his house, and he just gave me one car after another. Wow. And it was just take one, pick one up, take one, pick one up. And then the next thing you know, I was getting these calls, and meanwhile, I was doing all this at the house, in the garage. So I had made a little bit, and I told Danielle, I was like, we can't commit, we don't have the credit, we don't have the funding, we don't have any of this, and we don't have anyone that we can borrow money from. So
that was going to be my next question, right? The $1 billion question for all aspiring entrepreneurs or business owners is, how in the world did Justin get seed capital? And I think you were about to tell us. So kind of tell us, and if you don't mind, let's walk through the business while we're talking about it. This opportunity with Future, you don't have the cash, you don't have the credit. That's right. How did you make it happen?
I did a lot of searching, and eventually I found a building that wasn't ideal. Looking back, I don't even know how we made it work, right? But I think I had about $2,000 saved up, and I found this building, and it had been vacant forever. It had no AC, no heat, high ceilings, horrible everything, right? And but I told Danielle, I said, "Listen, I know I've got a couple of cars to wrap, and it's a gamble, but I want to take the little bit of money that we have. I'm going to go to this guy. I'm going to give him every dime of it."
So you bet it all?
Every bit of it. I literally bet every bit of it. I had no line of credit, no nothing. The building was $1,000 a month, so I gave the guy first and last month. That was my $2,000, right? Wow. I called the distributor. I still needed material for the 2 cars that I had to wrap.
Okay.
I wrote him a check, and I asked him not to deposit it until Monday.
So you were honest?
I was.
Okay.
Absolutely honest.
Okay.
I said, "Listen, I'm going to write you a check, and I promise you I will make it good, but I need you to hold this check till Monday."
Wow.
And that was on a Thursday.
That's humility. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's honesty.
Absolutely.
It's just saying, I promise you, if you give me if you just give me this chance, just hold it a couple days, I'll make it work. So that was on a Thursday. I asked him to hold it till Monday. I worked, I can't even remember how many hours. Like, I focused, man, and I put in every bit that I could. I made sure that those cars were done. Those customers had picked up, got the money in the account, and then it just kept doing it.
And still to come on Carbizus. Camo look. Like, where did that come from?
Dolph and I.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was, honestly, I did it 2 years before its time.
Okay. Welcome back to Carbizus. Camo look. Like, where did that come from?
Dolph and I.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it was, honestly, I did it 2 years before its time.
Okay.
I had a basketball player come in a couple of years before we did any of this, and he wanted me to do it. He wanted camo, but he wanted it to be a little bit different. and there was like some printed camos on the market. And so I did his Corvette, and it got some good attention, but it really didn't take off.
Okay,
and,
interesting.
Yep, and I had done some stuff for Dolph. You know, honestly, Dolph's Ferrari, I did orange chrome at the same time I was doing that ball player's camo Corvette.
Okay.
And I did his camo Corvette in like a snow camo, so it was white, grays, black, whatever.
Yeah.
But Dolph hit me up. He was like, "Man, I got some stuff going on. Come down to the studio. I want to talk to you about something, and this is going to be real, and this is going to be big." And I was like, "All right, man, cool." You know, went down. He wasn't there. I waited for like an hour. And I was like, man, he's got no respect for nobody's time. I got no respect for his time. Yeah. I'm out of here. Danielle and I were halfway home. Yeah. And he hit me up and he was like, Jay, I'm here. Where you at? I said, man, I've been sitting there. I'm on my way home. Yeah. Man, turn around. I need you. I'm here now. I need you to be back. So I did after some convincing because I was ready to walk away. Like real talk. Yeah. And one of those moments where it was a crazy decision, right? Like I was in my head, I was already mad, feeling disrespected, and all this, and I'm like, man, I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm done. Yeah. And so, anyways, Danielle was the better side of me at that time. She was in the car. She's like, look, we ain't got nowhere to be. We ain't got nothing to do. So just turn around. We'll go hear what the man has to say. Major is the theme. Like, that's major. Okay. That's the thing.
That makes sense.
So then we started looking. He's like, yeah, I want some camo. And we started looking through pictures and different prints and things and that. And he's like, man, I want it to be larger than life. Like, I want it camo, but it's got to be larger than life. And there's nothing printed that can do that. And so then we started talking, and he's like, but, you know, I got this one, but really, if you can take what's in my head and you can really lay it out there, I want to do several more, you know. And I want to say I did 40 vehicles for him in PRE. Him, like, that he controlled, you know, or paid for, and then we made Dove magazine, and then we went to SEMA that year, and because of the video shoots and all the magazines and this and that, I won Worldwide Standout Shop of the Year. So from the Worldwide Wrap Association.
One idea.
That's right. So now we added it up, and I think over the past 2 years we've done 438 vehicles in camo nationwide. Wow. So we took one idea and turned it into $1 million plus.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Thank God.
And still to come on Carbizus.
What does Jesus mean to you? Everything. Everything, man. Jesus is everything. Like.
Welcome back to Carbizus. So kind of tell me about that. Like, in a crowded industry, how have you managed to rise above all and build this great brand that we know as Atlanta Custom Wraps?
My faith in God. Wow. It's just real talk, man. I think it's because I still wonder, like, and I'm still challenged every year, right? Almost more so every year than the year before. But you're right. When I first got started, there wasn't a ton of people doing it. By the time I moved into this building, there was a ton of people doing it.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. So for me, I think my faith in God, and knowing that He is going to guide us wherever it is we're supposed to go. But God has a plan, and I can't control that. So I believe that being faithful, treating people correctly, whether that's customer or employee, have the right motives. I believe God's just blessed us with opportunity after opportunity, and I've been able to capitalize on it. Right. Awesome. So making sure customers are happy and making sure the work speaks for itself. I knew that as long as I did quality work, I didn't need a sales force. And I say that to say, even with yourself, you are my sales force. So every happy customer is out driving their cars, and when they stand out and when they go to a gas station or a restaurant or they valet or they have their car washed or whatever that case is, it's all opportunity for someone to see my work, right? And they ask, absolutely, where did you get this done?
Carbizus is about cars, business, Jesus. What does Jesus mean to you?
Everything. Everything, man. Jesus is everything. Like it's life after life, happiness, security, love, passion. It's in everything we do. Wow. So to me, it's simply put, he's everything. Absolutely. Everything else will go away and dissipate. We can't control that. You know, that's time. But knowing that I have a relationship with God, and I think it's sad because so oftentimes people don't talk about that, right? Yeah. And I, you know, it's odd because I've personally, and Danielle over the years, I make it a point, regardless, the last thing I say to anyone, friend, foe, hater, lover, it doesn't matter, have a blessed day.
Absolutely. And I can vouch for that. He does that every time I come to the shop.
And it's always intriguing to see the response. So some will look at us kind of, you know, and some are like, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes. And they value it, right? But I think ultimately, Jesus to me is knowing he's in my heart and he forgives me of those small sins that I commit,
and big ones too.
And the big ones. Yeah. But I try not to commit those big ones. But you know, I think just knowing that in my heart and knowing that there's something after this life that is way bigger and more important, I think this life is a test. Absolutely. It's a test to say, will you take this money? Will you take this opportunity and shun me away? Yeah. Or will you take it and highlight me for giving it to you?
I say, you know, life is a job interview. Right? For an eternal position.
That's right.
Ultimately. So along those lines, you know, you got the cars, you got the beautiful wife, the successful business, wonderful family, raving fans. Yeah. How does someone like Justin find his way to Christ, or how did he find you, if you don't mind me asking?
Through my family. I grew up even though we grew up without a lot of money and nicer things and cool cars and whatnot, I grew up in a Southern Baptist family. So we said the blessing at dinner, and if you said the Lord's name in vain, you were going to get slapped in the head. and we went to church on Sunday, and no matter what tragedies were going on in the world or what was affecting our lives, that was the one consistent, right? So everything is changing in the world on a daily basis. Yeah. Our trajectory changes, everything changes, but God. Amen. And the Bible. That is the only consistent in the world today. Absolutely. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, white, black, brown, it doesn't matter. That Bible doesn't see any of that. That the words in that Bible are the same, and they're going to be the same.
That's today and forever.
It is. It's today and forever, and it's real. Yeah. So you know, I look at that and almost I challenge people. I challenge you. If you're not, I'm not trying to push my religion on you. I'm not trying to say that Southern Baptist is the way, or Catholic, or Jewish, or any of that. I'm just saying a relationship with God. If you open your heart and you start that relationship with God, and you do right by other people, and you try to do what God would want you to do, try it. What do you have to lose? I guarantee you're going to see certain things when you're like, you know what, I did this for someone without any intentions of being rewarded or praised. You just do it out of the kindness of your heart because you know that's the right thing to do.
Amen.
And God will return blessings on blessings for you. And that's what this is. This is Justin and Danielle doing what's right and treating people as God would want us to, and to do our best to be disciples for Him.
Amen.
And this is what He rewarded us with.
In closing, tell the world how they can, do business with you, reach out to you, connect with you, whatever that might be.
So you can hit us up through our website, AtlantaCustomWraps.com. Social media, we're on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook. It's simple. It's all AtlantaCustomWraps.com. If you call, you're going to get Danielle, maybe even myself. We welcome everyone. So just because you see exotics and high-end cars, we also have pickup trucks and older vehicles, anyone. So we try to make it obtainable for everyone, even if it's a hood wrap or a roof wrap.
Or a Buckeye stripe.
That's right, or those stripes. We welcome everyone, every car, and we'd like to make your dreams come true as much as possible, or your vision, make your vehicle unique while not devaluing it. So everything we do is removable, and we'd love to have you. Give us a call, email us, come to the website, come check us out, see the showroom, and meet us in person. We're always welcoming, and we'd love to see you.
Bro, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for doing this, man.
Yes, I appreciate you having me a part of it.
Well, thank you.
And I want to do as much as I can to promote it, man. I think what you're doing is incredible, and I support it 1,000%. We need more people like yourself